What's up, guys? My name's Holly, and you're watching the Silver Streak RV Life channel. This is my very first live, so welcome. If you're interested in finding out what it's like to be living in an RV full time with kids and dogs, basically, I'm a single parent, and I do it all for under $80 a month. That's my basic bills, not including food. So let me just go ahead and get started and tell you my story. So I have 7-year-old identical twin boys. We've been on our own ever since their dad left the picture when they were about 2 years old. So the last 5 years. And I do own my own house, but one of my family members bought it for me because I have student loan debts. So we've been having trouble transferring it over into my name because, as you know, student loans, they tend to put a dent on your credit. And I've just been unable to save up a whole bunch of income on my own. So I haven't been able to get that house switched. So it is a very beautiful house. It's on an acre and it's 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, like about a 3,000 square foot house. So we have been living in this house. We were living there for the past 2 years. And around the time that I moved back to Arizona after working in Arkansas and working in Texas, I decided that I wanted to have an RV. So I met this guy and he was pretty cool. Actually, he was one of my Tinder dates. Not specifically Tinder, but one of those other apps like Bumble or something. So I met this guy and he was living in an RV. And that was actually the first time that I had ever heard anything about anybody living on their own in an RV, like not in a house, right? Because growing up, it was always the American dream, at least in my family, to live in a house, own your own house, like have a nice, beautiful yard, and pretty much have like the perfect family life, right? Like it was always a joke on TV to see people living in trailers. And thinking back on it, like that was really, really not nice. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it was just the American dream, everyone wanting to live in a home. Like people that lived in alternative housings like became a joke. And maybe I'm just one of the few people that are willing to admit it. Like that's screwed up. That's not cool. But up until a couple years ago, when I met this guy who was actually saving a lot of money, and he was building his own business, and he was a single guy just living by himself in an RV. Up until I met that guy, had an individual like interaction with him, and saw the way that he was living, it never occurred to me to do that. I was making really good money in my jobs, but I was still living paycheck to paycheck, trying to just pay the mortgage on this house, trying to have all the furnishings I needed for the house, trying to pay for the upkeep of the house. And let's face that, like with rising gas prices, rising grocery prices, with the pandemic that happened, it all just started to seem really superficial. So it turns out that that guy had a vintage SilverStreak RV that he was selling. Well, not necessarily selling, it was like his project, but he mentioned that he might be open to selling it. So I saved up, and for under $5,000, I bought this SilverStreak RV. And in the beginning, it was just supposed to be a project, like something where me and the boys, we could go travel around in the summer. Maybe we could drive to different states and see beautiful sights and just have a lot of adventures as a family. I never really intended in the beginning for it to be where I would be doing like my full-time living at, right? So bought the RV 2 years ago. And just to explain, so it's a 1970 SilverStreak Continental. So it's big. It's like a 30-foot RV. It's spacious. It has a full-size bathroom. It has a full-size sink, like in a kitchen area with plenty of cutting space for one person, like counter space. And I had a regular full-size refrigerator in it, and it can sleep. Honestly, it could sleep up to 6 people, depending on how you maneuver it, but we've got it very comfortably sleeping 3 people. So I was still living in the house for 2020 and 2021. But the bills were just stacking up, and I just really didn't like the fact that I wasn't able to save extra money. I wasn't able to focus on my content creation. I was really big on social media. I had Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it, every type of social media. And I had just gotten to the point where my Facebook was becoming monetized. So I was realizing that there was a real market for content creation and people who could just live their dream and travel and see sights and kind of make money as they go. So when I was doing really well, I was trying to think of ways to just stay relatable on social media. Like I didn't want to just have this picture perfect life and always post the beautiful moments. Like I've always wanted my channels to be very real and very honest, and not only just like a highlight reel. So, anyways, approximately, this is going on my third month. So, approximately 3 months ago, I decided to go for it and just move out of my house. And me and the boys and our two Siberian Huskies went and we found a friend that had some property. So it's like over 80 acres of property. So there's plenty of room, and there's actually a well because where we're at, there's a huge aquifer under us. So they actually only charge us $30 a month for a spot, which is beyond amazing. Like I definitely thank God for that opportunity because I know that's not quite the norm. But even if you are looking to travel and if you are looking to go and stay in RV parks or stay at national parks, it's still really affordable. You could get a spot for $200-300 a month, depending on what you need in the spot. If you need water and electricity hookups, depending on how long you're going to stay there, you could get a better deal, and depending on the season, right? So if you're coming up, like where we live in Arizona, right? In Phoenix, it gets so hot, over 100 degrees. So the spots down there are always relatively cheap. There's tons of parks available, tons of places to park, and it's easy to reserve those. But like we're very seasonal up here in northern Arizona if you go up like towards the Flagstaff area. So if you didn't own your own land, if you didn't have somebody that you could rent land from, that's how I'm able to live on a budget for under $80 a month. Because like I said, for my water and trash, they only charge me $30 a month, which is so, so amazing. So you might be able to look on OfferUp. You might be able to look on Craigslist. You might be able to look for people that have seasonal homes or people that are just renting property space, and you might be able to find a way to stay there. The main thing that you want to look for is that you're going to be able to have water, because if you're super super just like off in the boonies, right, like you are going to have to find a way to get regular water. Not every single spot is going to have a well available to you. So that being said, it's been 3 months, and I decided that I didn't want to have to deal with electricity hookups or anything like that. So what I do for my electricity is I run my RV off solar. So I got 4 200-watt solar panels. I actually have 6, but for the amount of electricity that we use, it isn't that much, and I'm able to get a full charge out of everything with only 4 panels. So I still have 2 extra sitting there. But basically the whole solar setup, I'd say it costs around under $1,500. So you are looking at a little bit of an investment up front, but that means that you're not having to get a spot where you have to stay constantly hooked up to electricity. Because then that bill, it's going to fluctuate. It's just like living in a house, whatever they're going to charge for water, trash, and electricity based on your usage. So you can decide if you want to pay a little bit more monthly, paying like $200-300 a month to have all that included in your spot. Or if you want to be able to, what a lot of people call it in RV living is like boondocking. If you want to be able to travel, go visit state parks, drive, visit place to place, and not always have to go hook up and pay full price at an RV park, then I would look into investing into solar panels. So, like I said, the inverter was about $900, and then the solar panels were about $400, and then you've got to get the different cords that you need to hook it up, and then you've got to buy the brackets. I just had them installed on top of my RV, so that means that I can take them wherever I go. I don't have to take them off. I don't have to fold them up. I can just travel with my electrical personal solar system on top. So I definitely love that. It's very worth it. Now, what we do for water is they sell water containers. Like if you go to whatever you have in your area, Tractor Supply, we've got Cal Ranch, they sell them at Home Depot, they sell them at Lowe's, various different home type places. You can get a water tank. So I think it's like a 500-gallon water tank. And because it's included in the property where I stay, I'm able to fill up the water tank. And my full water, like running inside the RV for my showers and my sink, it is fully hooked up and functional, but I'm just tweaking it to make sure that I'm able to run it efficiently right now. So, right now I am still going to other places, and I can still go to friends' houses and use their showers and things like that. But very soon, like in the next couple of weeks, mine's going to be completely operational, meaning that I'm going to have a full-size shower, like bigger than this room, which, by the way, I'm at the library. I'm renting a sound box because we can get Wi-Fi installed where we're at, but it's pretty pricey to get it to be like a steady signal. So I do still go into towns to go, check my email, do my social media, do my videos and things like that. Luckily, there's a lot of free places all over most towns that you can go and use Wi-Fi. So when I say that I live on a budget for under $80 a month, that's because I don't have a ton of regular bills. I'm paying the $30 for my water and trash. I'm paying $25 for my phone bill, and then a couple other regular bills that I pay, right? If I wanted to include everything, like a tally of my bills for gas and for food, I would say we're probably able to do all that for under $600 a month. But that's because, food's very expensive. So when I can, I supplement, right? Like instead of having to have a solid Wi-Fi internet bill, I come into town and I use free internet. There's free internet at Starbucks. There's free internet at McDonald's, at Safeway, at Walmart, at the library. If you're just creative and you don't mind going with the flow, that's one less bill that you have to pay. So I just wanted to come on and introduce myself and let you know that I'm loving it. I personally see myself being able to save up a lot of money this way, being able to live way more freely. I don't have to be on a super strict work schedule. Right now, I'm just working in a greenhouse and I'm taking the money as it comes and I'm using it when I need to and I'm saving it when I need to. So it has taken away so much stress out of me having to pay like $2,000 worth of bills a month. So for me, being a younger single mom of identical twin boys, like I'm more into investing in our current time right now, having adventures. We go on hikes almost daily. We love taking our huskies out to go play and to go swim in the lake. So even though right now we are planted in northern Arizona, just because I wanted to make sure I really knew how to fully operate the RV, really knew that it was fully functioning. Like I said, with no little hiccups or anything. And once I know that my solar is solid, my water is solid, and I can take it on the road, then I plan on just seeing where the road takes us. I really don't want to spend my whole life in the same town. I want to be able to take my children on the road and show them sights and show them historical places. I want to be able to teach them as we go, have a flexible homeschooling schedule. And as they get older, if they decide that they want to settle down and stay in one place that we've traveled to that we really like, and they want to go to school and they want to play sports, great. I'm totally for that. I'm all for that. But for right now, they're young and they just love spending time with me. They love going on adventures. They love going fishing, catching lizards, picking wildflowers. We do all those things and it just comes naturally to them. They're so creative. They love building things. So actually, I'm getting ready to wrap this up right now because I don't want to ramble on forever and ever on my very first video. But they are actually right now in Lego Club. So we're at the library. We still come out. They get socialized all the time. We have lots of friends in the area that we live in. So it's not like we're just living under a rock in a little trailer, like, pinching our pennies. It is nothing like that. It is an amazing, freeing adventure for us. And I just wanted to share my story with you guys so that you can see if this is something that would be right for your family. Because this is the main takeaway. I've lived in houses before and it felt like all I was doing was sleeping there. So we were paying all of our money. We weren't able to save up to go on vacations. I wasn't able to buy them the cool toys and the cool kayaks and adventure things that we wanted to have because I was just going away all day for work, not seeing my kids, not being able to raise my kids. And then we were coming home to a nice house. Yes, it was beautiful. It was wonderful, but there wasn't time to entertain. There was barely enough time each night to cook dinner and read a bedtime story. So for me, that's not something that I consider to be living my life to the fullest. So I'm very proud of the fact that we are full-time living in the RV. I'm hoping to be able to get my YouTube channel up and running, to have lots of different subscribers. We always will humbly accept donations because, like I said, we're still trying to work some things out and fix the RV. We're still trying to make sure that the solar system runs smoothly. Everything doesn't just work plug and play immediately. You still have to really learn and test the boundaries of what you can do living this type of way. So that being said, yeah, if I could get tons of subscribers that wanted to donate to our adventures and help us to be able to be full-time YouTubers so that we could go and travel and vlog for you guys, that would be the ultimate dream. Like I'm definitely not trying to just act like this is just an informational only channel. Like my goal is to get subscribers. My goal is to have videos with my twins and have other people that have twins be able to relate to our story. I want them to be able to be creative and do their own videos. There's tons of kids all over YouTube that make their own content and my kids love it. Other kids love watching it. So I think there's nothing wrong with living life that way. We live in a world where you can be anything you want to be. So I'm putting this out there into the world now. I'm trusting God with my life. And if he wants to grow my channel, that would be amazing. Before I go, I'm just going to say, like, my life has not been perfect. There's a couple content creators and I've watched their channels and I've watched them as they blew up and people went and dug into their past and people started accusing them of being scammers. There was this one channel, All In with Ari, and I still totally watch it and support her. I think it's amazing. She's living in her car. But the accusations that come with that can be kind of wild. So before anything goes wrong and people start looking into my background or my past, I just want to be totally transparent with you guys. Like I said, my name's Holly. My boys are Micah and Zephaniah. I've been divorced. I used to work in the cannabis dispensary industry. I used to run dispensaries and I was making really great money doing that. But I lost a couple of jobs. I lost one right before the pandemic. And I would like to say it was mutual, but ultimately, like, I was let go from that. And I basically had a perfect background record my whole life up until 1 year into the pandemic. And I did get a DUI. And I was driving with my kids in the car, but I had pulled over because I realized that it wasn't safe to drive like that. And I was actually just sitting in my car waiting for a ride. So I was kind of caught on a technicality because they said I should have had the keys outside of the car. So I think that's something that you only really know if you've had DUIs before and if you've gone to those type of classes. I knew well enough that I shouldn't keep on driving with them. So my car was fully parked and turned off. But I owned up to it. I took responsibility for it. I've been paying that off. I've gotten everything reconciled as far as that goes, and I've never drank and drive again. Actually, I'm to the point where I don't even really drink anymore. Like maybe once a month I'll have a glass of wine, but I realize the dangers in all of that. And I know that it's my YouTube channel and I don't have to put my whole life story out there, but I'm just wanting to be totally honest with you guys because my life hasn't been perfect. And if you stick around, I'll tell you lots of fun stories. Some are really funny, some are really sad, some are super interesting. I think you guys are going to love the boys because the twins are just so cute and so funny. And I'm thankful for the learning experience that I had through that DUI because I realized that so many people do that carelessly. Like, and life is so precious, and I would never want anything to happen to me or my children ever, ever, ever. So even just for my followers to know, it's so dangerous. Like, even if you just have a margarita and leave a restaurant and you blow above the 0.08, like, you're a candidate for that as well. It could happen to anyone, whether you pull over or not. So I really just want to tell my story, be encouraging to you guys, and let you know that there is more to life than going to work every single day for 8 hours a day, going home, sleeping, scrolling on social media, and dying. There's a whole world out there to see. So follow along, like, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again for our next video. Take care.